Alright, so welcome back to Daily Coding. In today's video, we're gonna do authentication with GitHub for our Node application using Passport. So this is what the demo look like. So we have the button right here so that we can do authentication, like login. So right now I'm gonna click right here. So it's gonna connect me with GitHub. So I'm do the authorize right here, and then it's gonna redirect me to the dashboard. So this is like after we log in, we go to dashboard, and this is we have the button logout. So then I click logout and go back in here. So as you can see right now, if I try to go to dashboard, it's gonna be forbidden because I am logged out. So right now I'm trying to log in again with this one again, and there we go. So I can access to the dashboard if I refresh, and then I stay logged in. So we're gonna do with sessions using Express session as well. So all right, so let's get started. All right, so here I'm using VS Code, so you can use any ticket that you want. So now I have the empty folder that have the readme right here. So this is the step that we're gonna do. So the first one, we're gonna generate the route and the login and the dashboard, and then we're gonna implement authentications. We do the session and protected and the logouts. Right, so let's do that. So first, I'm gonna do the yarn init-y. Then we're gonna install some dependency that we're gonna do. So I'm gonna do yarn add express, and then we're gonna have the passport for our authentication. So I'm gonna add this one, and then we're going to install the NodeMon for our development. So NodeMon. Okay. All right, so here I'm gonna create the file called server.js. So I'm gonna close the terminal for now, and then I'm gonna create a simple server. So I'm gonna import express. So require express. Then we're gonna have the apps that equal to express right here. And then we can do apps.get. This one is gonna be for initial route, the request. And then we're gonna do rest right here, and then for now I'm gonna send rest.send the hello. Then our app is going to listen on port 3000, and we can console.log that one. Console.logs. So this is gonna be the functions. So we can do console.log server is running on port 3000. Can actually do this with the env as well. All right, so now I can open back our terminals, and then I'm gonna do yarn. So then we need to do the script. So I'll go back into the package.json. We doesn't have any scripts for run this yet, so I'm gonna create a script for now. Script, and then we're gonna do for our development is gonna be NodeMon. So it's going to be server.js. So this is our file of a server. So then I'm going to do run Dave. So now our server up and running at port 3000. So I'm going to open this one. So then I'm going to do localhost 3000. As you can see right now we have the hello. Right, perfect. So next we're going to do the page for our login and dashboard. So of the dashboard I'm going to use with this one, and then I'm going to generate another route. This one is going to be login, and instead of sending the text right here, I'm going to create index the HTML. So for that I'm going to create the two HTML. So this one is going to be the dashboard.html, and also one more is going to be login.html. So this is going to be login.html, and I'm going to give the title of logins, and in here, which is really simple, we're going to have the h1 of login, and then this one we have the href. So this one is going to connect to our route. So when it's like a button, so when we log in with GitHub, so we're going to go with the route login, and the text right here is going to be login with GitHub. So then I'm going to copy this one, go to the dashboard, and change this one to with the dashboard. Okay, so right now we have this one, And then our dashboard is going to be logout, so we're going to do this route as well. And also, let's see, for now, not this one, so logout, and also there's just logout. Then go back in here. I think I made the mistake, so this one is not going to go to the route login, because the route login is going to render this page. So this one is going to call to the route that we're going to work with the GitHub. So we will come back to this one later. So go back into the server. So this one, I'm going to send instead of send the text, we're going to send the files. And we're going to our directory names plus our file name. So this is going to be the dashboard.html. And this one needs to be / this one. And also this one is going to be the login.html. Okay, so now we go back in here. If we refresh this one, as you can see, right now we have our dashboard as an initial page. And if I go to logins, we have this one. All right. So the next thing is we're gonna log in this one with the GitHub. So for that, we're going to use the passport GitHub right here. So in the passport, there's a lot of strategy so that you can have. So so we can take a look in that. So we're interested in passport.github. So right now we do not yet install this one. So I'm going to install this one. So open our terminal. So I'm going to create a new tab with this. So I'm going to do, oops. So right now I'm adding like the 4 tab of this one. So I'm going to do yon add passport GitHub. Right, so now we go back in here. Right, so now we have installed this one. So right now we go back into the documentation. So this is how we can do that. So right now I'm going to copy and paste this one. Then I'm going to explain what it does. And then I'm going to paste this one on top. All right, so I need to go back in here. So right now we need to tell that this one is finished. Like, so this we can implement our authentications. This I'm gonna do the cons. So right now if you look at the terminal, is something wrong? Okay, there's something wrong right here. So because we haven't imported the passport right here. So to do that, I'm gonna cut this one, cons passport equal to require passport. Okay. So this one, they need to have like the strategy that in the strategy right here, they need to have the GitHub client ID and the client secret from the OAuth app of the GitHub. So I'm going to show you where you can use this one, get this one. And also we need to have the callback URL. So normally when we click button login with GitHub, it's going to open a new tabs. Make sure that we do with confirm with GitHub, and then it's going to call back to this URL. So this one, instead of this one, I'm going to do with the local host 3000. Okay, so where do we have this one? So this one we're going to do our cell right here. So instead of doing this ourselves, we can copy from the documentation. So they have done that already. So I'm going to copy and paste this one. So, all right, so this is our callback, and this is if you want to log in with GitHub, we can just go with this one, and we pass the middleware of the passport, and we tell them we want to use GitHub. And this one you can call whatever you want. So I'm gonna go with default right here. All right, so for this, in this case is as you can see, this one is for MongoDB. Like instead, like after you log in, you can find if the user exists or not. So this one, the function find create, but we're not doing that. So I'm going to remove this one. So right now we just have a callback. So with null, we doesn't have an error. So this is the profile. So the profile right here is the information of you if we log in successfully. It's going to get like your profile from the GitHub. So I'm going to console log to see that. All right, so right now I'm going to come on this one to auth, so we can, this one, we're going to use this one in the login. Go back and log in, auth/GitHub. Okay, so now if we go back, so I forgot to change this one. So how we can get this one, if we can go into your GitHub profile, developer settings, and then you can go to OAuth. And you can create a new apps or using existing one. So I'm going to use existing one. So this one right here. And right now, this is our client ID. So when you create that one, it's going to ask you what is your application name. You can give whatever you want. In the homepage, you need to pass the localhost 3000 and description. It can be anything. And the host callback right here. So you need to do this one. It needs to match right here. Right. So make sure you do this one. And then after that, you will have the client ID. So I'm going to paste this one, copy and paste this one. And then the secret right here, I'm going to generate a new secret. So I'm going to copy this one. So I'm going to delete the old one. Okay. And then we go back in here. All right. So now we have our client, our secret. And so this one is not like the best way. So later on, I'm going to show you how to make this one better, like not showing this one. So right now we go back in our browser. We can do our logins. Like, so it can be really fast. So as you can see, not like that. So right now we do the authorize with the GitHub. So I'm click confirm, and then it's gonna bring back. So this is the error right here. It's not the login is successfully, but this one is I forgot at the middleware. So how can I tell that it's successfully? So now if I open the terminal, as you can see, we have the profile that we console the log right here. So this is the profile that we get from the GitHubs. So I have my IDs and then my display names. So I mean I set up correctly. So at this one, as you can see, the callback right here. So we provide a middleware of this one. So it means like if there's some failure, it's gonna redirect to the login. If it's success, it's gonna redirect to the dashboard. So right here. So now if we look at our error right here, it's because I forgot to add some middleware for our passport. Right, so then I'm gonna close this one. And then I'm going to do some middleware. So I'm gonna do app.use passport.initialize right here. Right, so now if we do it again, I believe there's still one more error. So this one, we need to go to login. So when we log in, okay, so now we fail because we need to add a session for this one. So serialize user into sessions. So I mean our authentication is finished, so I can complete this one. So next we're gonna talk about sessions. So what the error is, this one is we need to serialize the user profile, our information here into the session. So we can do that by using the passport, passport.serialize, serialize user, and then we're gonna have the user. It's gonna be a functions user. I'm gonna do one function, and then we're gonna do user, and then this one is going to be our callbacks. Okay, and then in here we can do this callback with the nulls. This is not an arrow functions, and then we're gonna do user.id. So this is what you're gonna store into the sessions. So if you get the profile right here, we get an ID. So I will use the ID as a session. So you can use the entire user as a session as well. So I think I'm gonna make it small. So I'm just store the user ID, and then we need to deserialize this one. So instead of this one, it's gonna be this one is gonna be deserialize, and this one is gonna be an ID because we serialize with ID. So we get this one. All right. So now we have this one for in our session, and then so we need to for persisting session. So we need to use passport session right here. All right, so but right now we do not see any session set any session. The reason is we need to set the express session for that. So if right now if I just console the log to see if the session we have or not, so we can do request a session request a user right here. So open our terminal. So right now if I try to access after login, so go back in here after login. So it's going to redirect me to the dashboard. When we render this one, as you can see, it's undefined. So because we not yet set the sessions. So to add the session is we going to use the library, this one express session right here. So we're gonna install this one. So go back in our terminal right here. This one, I'm gonna exit this. So I'm gonna do yarn cat express sessions. Okay, so now after adding this one, I can go back into the documentation. I'm gonna copy this one, so the secret and right here. So then I'm gonna paste this one right here, and then we need to import these express sessions. So require express sessions, and then this is a secret key, so you can make this one whatever you want, a secret, and the save false, and this one I believe we can do this false as well. So you can read more about this one in the documentation. We can tell what is what. And the resave right here is we need to be false. It's like a recommend, like typically if you want to be false right here. And what we need to care about this one is about the cookie right here. So in here, I'm gonna do the HTTP only to be true. This means that this cookie is it's going to be stored only in the server, so it's not going to store in the browser. This is only the server only. And then we have to do the secure right here. It's gonna be false. This one is because we're using the local host. Our HTTP is not secure. So if this one's true, so it means it needs to set the cookie. It needs to be our HTTP need to be HTTPS. So set this one to false, and then we need to max h, so how long our session is. So you can do like a day. So a day you can do like 24 times 60 times 60 and time 1,000, so a millisecond. And then if you want to have 2 days, you can just do this one. Right, so now I'm gonna do this one day. So that's it. So right now we can store our sessions. And then if we go back in this one, we log in again. So if I go back into the logins, login, and then if I do login with the GitHub and go back in the dashboard, and then if we go in our terminal, as you can see right now, we have an ID of the request. So right now we have this ID, so then it means our session set up correctly. So to check if our session is persisting or not, I can close this one. I can do it again. So it's go back in our terminal. As you can see, it display this ID again. So I mean it's persistent. Right. So then our session is correct. So we need when we it persistent, so we can do our protected right here. So as you can see right here, so we don't want to, if the user are not authenticated, so we don't want to go hit this route. So it means like if we doesn't have the session, so it's not allowed in here. So to do that, I'm going to create a middleware. So is auth is going to be, the middleware is going to be request.rest.user, and not user. This one is going to be next. And then we can check if request.user, we're going to do next. It means like if it's okay, I mean if we have the session, it's okay, we go. And if else, we're going to rest.redirect to the logins. All right, so I can do this one, and I'm gonna paste this one right here. And then for the logins, so for the login, I'm not going to do the middleware. I can do the simple logic if the request.user. So and then if this one is going to rest.redirect redirect to the dashboard. So I'm going to do return right here. So it's not going to run this one. Okay. So now if we go back, so now our server is gonna, so every time you refresh your server, the session is gone as well. So I'm gonna do login again. So right now we go into the dashboard, and then if I close this one, go back again, so I'm still dashboard. And if I go to the logins, so I cannot go to that because right now I'm in the dashboard. And the next thing is we're gonna do the logout. So our protected is finished, and then we need to do the logout. So the logout is really simple. So all you need to do, you can just you can do copy this one, and then you can do just logout, and then you can just do request.logout. And then after we log out, we're gonna redirect this one to the dashboard, to the logins. Okay. So now if I refresh this one, so session is gone. So login back, we have our sessions. Now if I try to go to the logins, it cannot. Then I log out and go back in here after I log out. If I try to go to the dashboard, so yeah. So I try to go to the dashboard, it cannot, so it's gonna redirect me back to our login. So I think that's pretty much it. So for our login, so everything is set up, and okay. So the last thing is I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this one a little bit. So as you can see right now, it's kind of mess, because this one we don't want to show this one to the public, right? So if you push this one to GitHub and you work with open source, something like that, you don't want this one to expose. So to do that, we're gonna create the .environment, and then this one we're gonna store all the information right here. So this one is gonna be the GitHub's secret. So it's gonna be like GitHub's ID. GitHub ID, client ID is going to be equal to this one, and also this one as well. So this one is GitHub's secret. So this one is, we have this one, and then we can do the process.env that we have in here, and also this one as well, process.env. So I'm going to copy this one. So yeah, one thing I forgot is we need to install the package. So we do yarn add -d.env. So this one is allowed to read the environment variables. So after we install this one, right now we have the secrets right here. So I think everything should be okay. Right now, if I go back in here, right, so the server is crash. Is it crash? All right, so require client ID. So right now I'm gonna, okay. So the reason is I'm installed that, but I forgot to import this one. So I'm gonna do require .env.config. So now we can read this one from the env right here. So now our server is okay. So if we refresh this one, everything should be working fine. All right, so everything is work out. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. And the last thing is I'm gonna do is so right now, as we need to, if you working with GitHub, so you need to git ignore. So then you need to pass the .env right here. So then when we push to the GitHub, so we don't push to the GitHub right here. So we don't want to expose this one, and also we can show the user what can they let's say env.sample. This one, it's like if someone else want to work with our projects, what can they have? So they're gonna have like some kind of this one. So this is what they need, and then they can just we can just remove this one for like just example for them to see. So all right, so I think that pretty much it for this video, and I thank you for watching till the end, and don't forget to subscribe and share this with your friend, and I hope you learned something from this video. All right, so see you guys in the next video.